Hello, my name is Жасынова С А. I'm working at Nazarbayev Intellectual School, and today I'm going to have the lesson of literary devices. So, what are the literary devices? The literary devices are the techniques writers use to engage their readers beyond the literal meaning of the text. Okay, let's see some example of poetic devices. The first one is alliteration. Alliteration is repetition of the same beginning sound in a sequence. Let's see an example. Drew, drew, drew. Rishita writes roller coasters, drawing and out a sea of seashells. Let's see another example. Example 1. From the time I was really little, maybe just a few months, old words were like sweet, liquid gifts, and I drank them like lemonade. Example 2. Tongue twister, a great example of alliteration. 3 gray geese in a green field grazing. Gray were the geese and the green was the grazing. So this is the clear example of using the alliteration. Next one is hyperbole. A figure of speech in which exaggeration is used for emphasis or effect. So hyperbole is exaggeration of the word. An extravagant statement or figure of speech not intended to be taken literally. For example, I waited an eternity for summer to get here, or he could have slept for a year, or this book weighs a ton. Listen to the hyperbole of the text, poem by Jack Prelutsky. I am making a pizza the size of the sun, a pizza that's sure to weigh more than a ton, a pizza too massive to pick up a toss, a pizza resplendent with oceans of sauce. I am topping my pizza with mountains of cheese, with acres of peppers, pimentons and peas, with mushrooms, tomatoes and sausage galore, with every last olive they had at store. My pizza is sure to be one of a kind. My pizza will leave other pizzas behind. My pizza will be a delectable treat that all who love pizza are welcome to eat. The oven is hot. I believe it will take a year and a half for my pizza to bake. I hardly can wait till my pizza is done. My wonderful pizza the size of the sun. So here's a clear example of using the hyperbole by the size of sun, or to weigh more than a ton, or with mushrooms, tomatoes and sausages galore, with every last olive they had in store, and some other examples that you can see in that poem. Okay, next one poetic device is imagery. Descriptive words or phrases that appeal to the 5 senses, like sight, sound, touch, taste and smell, creating a picture in the reader's mind, some mental photos. And according to this poetic device like imagery, we can imagine some other pictures in our minds. What is the mental picture or image you are left with after reading the passage from The Most Dangerous Game? Let's see it. He leaped upon the rail and balanced himself there to get greater elevation. His pipe, striking a rope, was knocked from his mouth. He hugged for it. A short hoarse cry came from his lips as he realized he had reached too far and had lost his balance. The cry was pinched off short as the blood-warm waters of the Caribbean Sea closed over his head. He struggled up to the surface and tried to cry out, but the wash from the speeding yacht slapped him in the face, and the salt water in his open mouth made him gag. The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Connell. So this is the example of imagery. Here we can see we can feel our five senses. Next one poetic device is metaphor. So what is metaphor? A figure of speech in which one, two, or more things are compared, usually by saying one thing as another, or by substituting a more descriptive word for the more common or usual word that would be expected. So some examples: the world stage, or he was a lion in a bottle, or drowning in a debt, or a sea of troubles. God looked around his garden and saw an empty space. He then looked down upon this earth and saw your tired face. He knew that you were suffering. He knew you were in a pain. He knew that you would never get well on earth again. He knew the roads were getting raw, the mountains hard to climb. So he put his arms around you and whispered peace with time. He closed your very eyelids and lifted you for rest. This garden must be beautiful. He only takes the best. Written by anyone's teenager. So this is the clear example where we can find any more metaphors. It's like, and saw an empty space. He looked down upon this earth and saw your tired face. And some other examples like, he knew the roads were getting raw, the mountains hard to climb. And also like, he closed your weary eyelids and lifted you for rest. This garden must be beautiful. He only takes the best. So let's see again what is a metaphor. It's a figure of speech in which two things are compared, saying that one thing is another. Okay, next one, a poetic device is onomatopoeia. What is onomatopoeia? It's a figure of speech in which words are used to imitate sounds. Some examples like crash, or buzz, or quack, or zoom. In the morning, yawn, stretch. To the bathroom, scratch, blank. In the shower, scrub, splash. To the closet, whisk, rustle. Down to the hall, thump, creak. In the kitchen, clank, clink. To the car, click, slam. On the road, honk, screech. At the office, tick, ring. Out to lunch, munch, slurp. Return home, thag, moan. On to bed, shuffle, snore. That poem was written by Kathy Christensen, and here you can see a lot of sounds that are called as a poetic device onomatopoeia. And also we can use this kind of poetic device in our speech and make some sounds, and you should know that these sounds are called like onomatopoeia. Okay, next one, poetic device is personification. What is that? The personification is a figure of speech in which things or ideas are given human qualities. For example, dead leaves dance in the wind, or blind justice, or winter wrapped her cold fingers around me, or the branches of the tree waved and said goodbye. The high mountain wind cast its signing through the pass and whistled on the edges big block of broken granite. A scarf of green grass cut across the flat, and behind the flat another mountain rose, desolate with dead rocks and the stubborn little black bushes. Flight by John Steinbeck. So this is the example where you can see the personifications like the high mountain wind cast its signing, or a scarf of green grass cut across the flat. Next one, poetic device is repetition. A word or a line that is repeated usually to evoke an emotion or create a rhythm. Let's see an example. There were so many important moments. If I'd missed the ticket, I wouldn't be here. If I hadn't gone to the show, I wouldn't be here. If I hadn't stuck around to see what Steve was up to, I wouldn't be here again. If I hadn't stolen Madame Octa, I wouldn't be here. If I'd said no to Mr. Cripsley's offer, I wouldn't be here. A word of ifs, but it made no difference. What was done was done. If I could go back in time. So you can see here that the word which was repeated several times is if I hadn't, or I wouldn't be here. Next one, poetic device is rhyme. The occurrence of the same sound at the end of two or more words. Example like hat or cat, desire, fire, steak and the fake. English is a pain. Rain, rain, rain. English is a pain, although the words sound just alike. The spelling is not the same. B, B, B. I'd rather climb a tree than learn to spell the same old word. Not just one way, but three. Sight, sight, sight. I tried with all my might. No matter which I finally choose, it's not the one that's right. Three, there, there, there. Enough to make your sphere. Too many ways to write one sound. I just don't think it's so fair. Two, two, two. So what's Kid to do? I think I'll do to live on Mars and to leave the mess with Eve. You? By Shirley Carlos Bingham. So here you can see the example of rhyme. The first stanza is like English is a pain, or rain, rain, rain. There are three different words, but they sound the same way. The second stanza is B, B, and B. The third stanza is sight, sight, and the sight. There are three different words. The fourth stanza is there, there, there. And the last one is two, two, two. And by the end you can see that there are some sounds and words that can make and complete the rhyme. For example, pain and the same, the first stanza. The second stanza, tree and the three. The next stanza is might and the right. Fourth stanza is swear and the fair. And the last one is like do and do. And also you and do. So this is the clear example of rhyme. Next one, poetic device, is simile. What is simile? It's a figure of speech in which two things are compared using the words like or as. So let's see in examples. She felt like a wilted flower, or the boy charged in the room like a ball. This class is like a three-ring circus. The aliens have landed. It's distressing, but they're here. They piloted their flying saucer through our atmosphere. They landed like a meteor, engulfed in smoke and flame. Then out they climbed, immersed in slime, and they burbled as they came. Their hands are greasy tentacles, their heads are weird machines, their bodies look like cauliflower and smell like dead sardines. Their blood is liquid helium, their eyes are made of granite, their breath exude the strange fluids from some unearthly planet. And if you want to see these sickly and attractive creatures, you will find them working in your school. They all got jobs as teachers. So here you can see some examples, not just the simile, but others like metaphor or personifications. So what about simile? You can find it here. For example, they smell like dead satins, or their bodies look like colorful flower, and their heads are weird machines. It's like the metaphor. And other stanzas has the simile. You can find it by the words like and as. Next one is pun, poetic device. The use of a word in a way that plays on its different meanings, like not seeing the bunch of bananas, the hungry gorilla went ape. I recently spent my money on the detergent to unlock my kitchen sink. It was money down the drain. Next one is symbolism, the poetic device. The use of one thing to represent another. So, example like a dove is a symbol of peace. The donkey symbolizes the Democratic Party. The elephant symbolizes the Republican Party. The flag represents the freedom. So this is a kind of poetic device like symbolism. Okay, now it's the time to make a cinquain poetry. What is cinquain poetry? Firstly, let's learn it. Cinquain, it's 5 lines long, a poem with certain numbers of words in each line. So let's see an example, what we should do here in the cinquain poetry. The first line is character name, it's a subject. The second line is description of that subject. The third line is action about this character. So some verbs can be used here. In the fourth line, the feelings about the character should be used here. And the last one is just the synonym of this subject for this character. Okay, this is an example, let's see it. Amelia, silly girl, always makes mistakes, loves to bake pies, maid. So this is the clear example of cinquain poem. Next one is parties, fun, food, games, friends, talk, laugh and celebrate, see old friends and make some new ones, good times. So this is cinquain poems. It has 5 lines. The first one is subject, the second one is just description of this subject, the third one is the verbs that can describe it, the next one is your feelings of this subject, and the last one is synonym. Math, easy, fun, multiply, factor, subtract. I like doing math, great. Or next one is mother, kind, helpful, caring, loving, sharing, a special person in my life, friend. So by this cinquain poem, we can make some ideas and share with them. We can make some poem and share with our feelings and emotions with others. So I have a question to you at the end of this lesson. How does the poetry express our feelings and emotions in our life? I think that by these poetic devices and by this cinquain poem, you can make an answer to this question. And in my opinion, I think that to make a poem, it's not so easy, but it's not so difficult, because using the poetic device, we can express our feelings and emotions and share it with other audience to make them funny and to make life beautiful and colorful. Thank you for the lesson. You can use this poetic device in your speech of every day and to make your speech more colorful. Thank you, goodbye.